welcome to yet another awesome session of Breakfree Millions with your coach, Iffat Khan. Well, this is a place where you break free into the life and the business you desire.
Anil Shetty is an Indian social leader, time investor, entrepreneur, author, activist, and a motivational speaker based in India. He is the lead campaigner of Safe Government Schools movement in Karnataka. He is named as Top 10 Yuva Karnataka's 2018 by Karnataka's #1 daily newspaper, Vijaya Karnataka. Shetty created Peace Auto, an auto rickshaw union, to help improve the community's circumstances. He is currently running a successful statewide campaign, Safe Government Schools, demanding new state education policy, which aims to revolutionize public education systems in Karnataka. Shetty was invited by United States Department of State to be part of International Visitors Leadership Program to represent India. In 2018, he even was invited by Israel Foreign Affairs Ministry to become part of the South Indian leaders delegation to visit Israel. Currently, he is also an independent investment banker who helps startups, businesses raise early stage capital. Anil authored his first book, The Making of I, a book about his personal experiences revolving around his moral and spiritual growth. He is also the author of Project Hope, a coffee table book that aimed to raise awareness about cancer. The foreword for the book has been penned down by Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. So let's welcome Anil Shetty.
We have got an amazing person and a guest today on our show, Breakfree Millions. And he is none other than, Mr. Anil Shetty. So Anil, welcome to our show, Breakfree Millions. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
And we kind of meeting each other after a year, I believe. Last it was on, TED platform that we met. And then since after that we're meeting. But the best part is that you guys are going to know more about his life and what exactly he does. So to be precise, I love the project that he's been working on. Beside he being a time investor, which he's going to tell us what exactly time invest, what does he mean by time investor? So why don't we go and start with that? So Anil, tell me, what is that you mean by time investor?
Since the beginning of my college days, I always felt that time is more valuable than anything.
True.
And we always quantify things in terms of money.
Right.
How much you earn, how much in the bank, this one. So I'm somebody who wants to quantify in terms of time.
Mm-hmm.
How much time I have put in there. It could be 1 month, 5 months, 6 months. And I'll see what result you gain.
Mm-hmm.
And sometime like even whether it's relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's anything, you invest your time in.
True.
Correct?
In fact, I would like to tell you this, that today time is a value, that's the most important currency. It's not money anymore, it's time. And time is limited. We all have limited time.
So that's what. So if you go to numbers, number of seconds, number of minutes, you guys will be knowing
Yes.
how many number of minutes we live, everything.
Yes.
Every time, every hour, every minute, you lose time.
Yes.
Correct? So I made it a point that I'm gonna center everything around time.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole life should be centered around time, not the money, not about anything. So time, every minute should be spent so well. Even if you are playing, play with your full heart. If you are doing a business. So that time should be spent so well.
Mm-hmm.
So I coined this term in the whole context, but in startup world,
Mm-hmm.
I do it in a way that if a good founders come to me with a great idea and they say, look, we got this idea and we want you to raise money.
Mm-hmm.
So raising money takes time.
Right.
I spend time with them.
Right.
I help them do their deck,
Mm-hmm.
and I put them across to right people,
Brilliant.
get them their first feedback, and again rework on their deck, rework on their ideas if it's required, and literally give them the sense of, okay, we can go and meet investors now.
Brilliant.
So then I'll start making them meet investors. The whole process will take 2-3 months. In that time, you build a relationship with the founder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not somebody who will get them the first money and walk away with my investment banking fee. I won't do that. So I love to build relationship with the founders to make sure that I want to see them grow.
Absolutely, that's
So
where
I
the
will go pitch
fulfillment is.
I will go pitch an idea to an investor only when I think it's gonna work, when I think the founders are really passionate about it. So that's why I spend that time, and I don't compensate that just time with just the money of that one check in terms of investment banking fee. So what I do is that I usually convert that into an equity. So it's sweat equity, and I stay with the company for 3 years. So I help them whenever they need me, whatever the connect they want to meet people, they can access the entire network for 3 years. And eventually, if they make money, if all my investors make money, I make money.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I don't make.
Fair enough.
So that's
Fair
why
enough.
the time which I'm putting in. So I call that as time investment. So that's why in the startup world, the term time investor is that a lot of people invest their money and wait for the return from the startups. So I invest my time, and I'm also invested over long, correct? And my equity will also grow as the valuation grows. So what I invested, if you ask me, what have you invested in that startup? How much money? I say no, this much of time I invested.
Brilliant.
So I invested 3 years of my time.
Which is so awesome, Anil. It's an amazing work that you're doing, because today's startups do really need this kind of, I would say, people, and especially if we could come up with something, maybe platforms, that it's required, especially when it comes to funding, it comes to mentorship, it comes to coaching. Because what I do is this, I do coach entrepreneurs, I do coach, startups and aspiring entrepreneurs to help them kickstart their business, help them with their several idea generation, to going up to their marketing, to business plan, to all of that. So when it comes to coaching, it's mostly transformational. We work not only on the aspects of the technical part, but also on the mind and how they can go ahead, have that grit, the persistency, which you really need as an entrepreneur. And that's why 95% of businesses fail, because that's the part which I saw the moment I started working with startups. And what I noticed is there was a gap. So maybe these guys had great idea, maybe they had a very good team, maybe they had people to fund them with. But the moment they start, they would not be able to continue with the next part of it. The moment they get any challenges, they fall. And they get challenges and they fall. So that was a huge, for me, it was like I wanted to bridge that gap. How do I go about doing it? Which for me came in form of coaching. And I believe for you, where you wanted to go about helping startups, which is brilliant, they so need it. And you went ahead, you termed this beautiful word, called time investor.
In fact, one of my... one of the biggest return for my time investment is a company called Licious. There's a brand called Licious.
Yes, I wanted to know more about that.
So Licious is a fresh meat delivery startup. It's one of the fastest growing in that space. Probably they will they curate meat and they deliver meat to your home in no time, and it's fresh. And they have actually understood the problem of people not getting fresh meat at home because you have to go to the market or it's not handled well. So they solved this problem of providing fresh meat to the customers. And I remember Vivek Gupta and Abhay Hanjura, the two young guys, founders.
Okay.
So they both met me one day and said, look, we got this idea and we need 3 crore and we have 1. So do you have somebody to talk to? I said, I went to Mohandas Pai, so who happens to be my mentor. So I asked Mohandas Pai that here's an idea. He said, how far they are? I said, they're on the paper. I said, they're on the paper, there's just an idea. Yeah, there's just an idea. But 2 guys come from a great background, and you should look at it. So we met and Mohandas Pai invested, a couple of my other friends invested. And then this guy's like, what do you want? I said, same. So I want to be invested in your company. So I want to invest my time in your company.
Right.
So offer me something. So they offered me an equity, which is vesting over a period of 3 years. It's a ESOP. And the company which we raised first 3 crore at 10 crore valuation, that's about 1.5 million. 4 years ago. And the
Brilliant.
company is today valued at $300 million.
Wow.
So that's something which I'm very proud of these guys.
Absolutely.
Like I saw them growing
Growing.
with a small office with first 3 crore funding to today the $300 million company
Wow.
with 1,600 employees.
Wow.
And it's for me it's a fascinating story, and I'm so happy that I've invested my time in that space with those guys, and forget how much I made, it doesn't matter. So it matters, obviously money matters, but I'm saying that the story matters.
Brilliant.
Like the story, and I'm sure they're gonna be one of the unicorn of this country. So they're gonna hit $1 billion.
That's amazing.
So I'm still there. I have not sold anything in that
Yeah.
company because I told the founders that so long you guys are there, I want to be here.
Yes.
So because it's a story I want to live.
Yes.
So that's where my investment of my time
Yeah,
for the
comes
last
into
4
picture.
years,
Yeah.
and it's benefited huge.
And I would suggest that we do require, I would say time investors now, since you've coined the term time investor. So we do need time investors today, because there are a lot of startups who do need the matchmaking.
Yeah.
Has to be done between them and the funder, the people who investors and the VCs, because it's hard for them to go about taking the ideas. And if there is a mediator, like maybe time investors, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be crazy awesome, Maybe you are just, I haven't met anybody else with this, who are time investors. Maybe you can just start with something. There'll be a couple of more people who would want to do what you are doing. I want to talk to you something very important. Let me, which is about I love this project that you do, Save Government Schools. Yeah. And first of all, this guy has become so famous, right? Yeah, you when you Google him, he is there on Wikipedia. You are there
That's
on
not
media
correct.
channels.
So
But then how do you go
I would
about
put it
doing
like
this?
this. I would put it like this.
Yeah.
So for me, all the initiatives we do in the social side is something which is very close to my heart, because we have 3 of the initiatives I want to talk to you. One is Save Government Schools. I studied in a Kannada medium government school, and that cause of reviving the public education system to provide free and quality education to the children is a primary goal of the government. And if we provide free and quality education, probably India will be different.
Right.
So because I come from that kind of a background where I studied in a Kannada government school and educated, and today I'm sitting here, so I would see millions of kids, even in our state, even in the country, it's like it's a big number. So those kids who are depending on education, the free education from the government, must be provided with a quality education, so that they can build their future as well as the country's future. So the cause is very close to my heart. The second one is that every year, so we do an award show called Namma Heroes.
Yeah.
So it's called Our Heroes. So where we take scavengers, sweepers, traffic constables, power linemen, all these guys to a 5-star hotel and do like a Filmfare award. So you must be wondering why? Because
That's awesome.
I believe in a society which should be very inclusive.
Yes.
An inclusive society where everybody feels they're a
Yes,
part of it,
yes.
nobody is excluded, and everyone should be. I have a different idea of equality. So equality should be in terms of opportunity.
Yes.
So they should be given equal opportunity, and they should be dignified
Yes.
for what they do. So because
Yes.
without those people, we will not be able to function in society.
Yes.
So that's an annual show which we've been doing for 5 years. Another initiative called Peace Auto. So we started an auto rickshaw union. So unlikely for a guy who coming from a startup and the side. And I started an auto rickshaw union, which is now a cooperative society with 2,000 family members.
Wow.
Who are getting easy access to loan. So whose life have been transformed. And that's another cause, which is, it's been last 7 years we're running that thing.
Brilliant.
So these are the philanthropic initiatives which I've done, which gives me a huge satisfaction in terms of, and it's something, a field is very different. So when I go on road, and when my car is parked in the traffic, I see one auto driver who will knock my door, the window, and say, "Sir, hi." So I think that's hi. So I'm a part of your
So
organization.
you've kind of won the hearts of all of them.
That gives
People,
you so much satisfaction.
Yeah.
You feel like, wow, something we've done.
That is
So
nice.
and it doesn't happen a single day. It's over the period of time, and you need to
So
see
how
what
many years did it take you to go about and building all of this?
So
especially,
I remember I was a huge failure. So I failed many a times. I was a star kid of my school because I used to score first ranking in all my school days, and I scored 95% in pre-university and got a free engineering seat. So at the age of 20, I came out of the college. I dropped out of the college to become an entrepreneur, and we were trading in stock market and running advisory business. 2008 market crash, so subprime crisis, and we lost everything. That's my first biggest debacle. So with no money. So then I co-founded a company in Mumbai called Fly with VIP, where we auction seat next to a celebrity in the flight.
Yeah.
So when you say Amir Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Narayan Murthy, Birlas go in the flight, and we take a seat next to it and auction it to the public. And we signed 300 celebrities of India, and we raised close to $1 million funding, and didn't work. So obviously I'd like to blame it on my co-founder who had a little bit of mess up, but it's okay. So it just failed. So we lost $1 million, and we lost the investors' money. And that is something. There are two things I learned. One is you can lose and you can build it back. And second thing is that even if you lose money, you don't lose relationship. Many of our investors were very disappointed that they lost money. It's close to $1 million, angel investors' money. But a lot of other people, lot of them have become friends, and they realize that okay, these guys failed once, they may succeed in the next one. So we genuinely tried. So in fact, Amitabh Bachchan was the first one to fly, and we had Ranveer Singh, Deepika Padukone. We had auctioned all their seats and everything, but we just didn't make it. So the project failed, and we are literally winding up the company. So when I was 25, so that failure hit. So I came back to Bangalore from Mumbai with again nothing in hand. So then I became a time investor and built everything. So when you have this kind of an experience, when you know that you can fail any day, you can fall from anywhere.
Anywhere. We all go through challenges, we all go through failures. It's not that one fine day somebody becomes a billionaire or a millionaire. Everybody I have been talking to, I meet a couple of entrepreneurs, CEOs, Fortune 500 CEOs, influencers, and they all have a story. They all have failed, and it's not that just you or me. The more people I meet, the more entrepreneurs I meet, the more CEOs I meet, they all have a story and they all have failed. But the best part is, how soon do you bounce back? That's the quality what most people don't have. How are you willing to bounce back? Are you willing to give it a shot? Are you willing to give it a try one more time? And that's where 95% of population fails. They just don't want to go about doing that again. But the best part about us, or I would say you here, is that you bounced back, and today you are so famous, doing amazing things. And I would say fame is not just it comes because it's not money, it's because the kind of work that you do. And today the world, the people are very conscious. They are going up to another level, I would say. It's not money anymore. The more people I meet, I realize it's not money anymore. It is so much more than money. It is like, when you talk about time, people do value time. Yep. And people want to go ahead, take care of their relationships. They want to take care of their family. They want to make sure they have a good life. That's where this entire population and the generation, I would say, is heading towards.
So
which is amazing.
Whether you fail in relationships, so you try fixing it, and you may not be able to fix it with some people.
Yeah.
So you have to accept it.
Yeah.
So, but you should put an effort.
Yeah, true.
So you can't say, okay, I fail and I give up.
Yes.
So your life fails when you give up.
True.
Rest of the time you're in a journey. You keep going, you keep trying, and a lot of people. I know a lot of people give this gyan about success, failure. Everybody says, oh, it's just a gyan.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's true.
It's true.
So if to the young millennials, young people who must be hearing this, watching this show, they must be thinking, oh, this is all a gyan. that gyan comes from experience. All those things what people with experience say is true. If they tell you, sometimes you might think that it's all rhetoric. No. If they are quoting a certain line which inspires them, it's not rhetoric. They must have lived that.
Yeah.
Lived that line and truly meant what that statement is, and that's what they're telling you. So it's not just rhetoric or it's not just some gyan. The gyan comes from experience. So all the people, one of the reasons why you should listen to these people, the successful people, that you don't make the same mistake what they do.
Absolutely, I totally agree
And
with that.
it inspires you to continue.
Yeah.
It motivates you. So like I was recently yesterday I was sitting with one of the successful politician, so who became a deputy chief minister of Karnataka. So I was sitting with him. He was a doctor who lost first election, won next election, and 15 years in public, 20 years in public life, and became a deputy chief minister. So I asked him every election, every 5 years he has to go for an election, and everybody will have a fear of losing.
Absolutely, but he would not.
He'll say, I now lost the fear. I now lost the fear of losing.
Yeah.
So because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'll continue to do it. So, and I spent 2.5 hours with him yesterday evening, and I was like, it's fascinating. His name is Dr. Iffat Khan, who's now the deputy chief minister and the ITBT technology minister of Karnataka. So it's so fascinating. So his journey of starting with the failure, first election he lost.
Yes.
Okay? And that too, he was telling, I didn't cry, my wife cried because she thought you put so much of effort.
Yes.
I said, I took her out for a dinner and we're all fine.
That is so awesome. See, that's the
So,
spirit,
that's
of,
the spirit.
of winners.
Yeah, that's the spirit
I would
of
say
winners.
that's the spirit of
Yeah.
winners. Brilliant. On that note, I really want to ask you something, Anil. So, in your life, what is that, the mission that you have in your life to do with your, peace autos, with safe government schools, with all of that amazing things that you do? What is your vision for yourself, I would ask?
So, I never bothered about what I want to become in life. I'm least bothered about what I want to become in life. I always thought about what I want to do in life. So the focus is to do things, not become something.
Okay.
In the process of you doing something,
You become something.
you become something.
Yeah, that's
Correct?
true.
And with all the initiatives we started, we want to grow it. And probably as an individual, if you see my social media, everything, I put up one statement, transcend time. So I want to transcend time. So I think my mother happy. And I want to serve my motherland. So I think my mother is very happy now because I have performed my duty as a son and now the motherland. So you can serve in different ways. I have served to some extent by helping entrepreneurs to create jobs, and I have helped to build some of the social enterprises which can transform people's life.
Right.
And the mission is simple, that now I want to spend more and more time serving the motherland in terms of spending time with people who can create social enterprises,
Brilliant.
who can work on transforming India, and spend time with young people and try actually harnessing their energy to make India the great place.
I actually connected with you when you said why you do Save Government School is because you come from there, and that's why you're. So for me, I started my journey with my company. I had a couple of other companies which I shut down, but then most important project which I work on is Femipreneur. And the reason why I work on Femipreneur is because I really want the women of the country of India to live their dreams of starting a business. Because when I started out, Anil, it was very hard for me to start out as a woman.
Yeah.
And that's what made me realize that, like me, there'll be so many women who would need support, and maybe I can be there, maybe my company can be there too. And that's when we started a platform for women entrepreneurs, where we not only support them with skills, with resources, with team, with technical. So like we are a startup, so we provide startup services. So we give them the services, and alongside that I'm coaching them, mentoring them. We have a community of amazing women entrepreneurs who are influencing each other, impacting each other, mentoring them, coaching them, and the community is so strong that you feel, yeah, you have somebody to be there. And since I did not have, that's why I wanted to start up Femipreneur. So I really connected with you on that. So
No, I agree.
Fabulous.
It's tough for women to become entrepreneurs, and I think one of the women entrepreneur who happens to be my mentor, and who's Kiran Majumdar Shah of Biocon. So I whenever I sit with her, I feel so good to have a conversation with her, because she talks about her journey from being a simple girl next door who is learning something new to build a Biocon. And even today, one of the rarest qualities she has is that she's still a student. So I remember a day when we were at some program where a speaker was talking about something and some information. She was writing it down and she missed that. She's like, "What did he just say?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" "No, I'm just noting it down." I'm like, "Wow."
You gotta be a lifelong learner.
Lifelong learner.
So, Anil, what do you think is the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs today?
Leaving aside the external challenges, the first biggest challenge is your own thoughts. So if you can overcome your own thoughts, which limits you from dreaming big, and the day you overcome those thoughts, you're out there. So that's the biggest challenge.
Yes.
So my biggest challenge is to overcome those thoughts. I think to considerable amount, I have done it.
Yes.
And I've got that fear out of me, of fear of unknown,
Yes.
fear of failing, and I think that's helping me.
And that's exactly what our profession demands us to do. Coaching. We work on the mindset, we work on the mind, and you have been coached, you have been guided, you have been mentored, and that's the key. That's, I would say, really powerful. So I want you to probably give a message to the people out there listening. There are aspiring entrepreneurs, they are struggling, solopreneurs, women entrepreneurs, a lot of them. So what is that message that you want to give out to them?
The one single message: live your story.
Okay.
So build your own story. Everything in the world is the story, and make sure that your story is remembered and your story inspires a million more people.
I love it. Thank you so much once again.